In this session, we're going to discuss foundation. We all have a different preference when it comes to foundation in terms of finish and fullness, and our reasons for wearing it can vary too. The thing to consider with foundation is that it should leave you one tone, which should be very similar to your skin tone, almost like a blank canvas, so you can add shade and colour to it. The only mild contrast you should see is the lighter areas around the nose, under eyes, forehead or potentially the chin if you have highlighted to conceal. The best practice is to use a brush rather than your hands. Your hands have this ability to soak up the moisture and oil properties from your foundation, which a brush won't do. The best types of brush to use are synthetic brushes with synthetic fibres. Therefore, they don't alter or take away any properties required for the finish of the foundation. The two obvious types of foundation brushes that you will see are the classic foundation brush and the stipple foundation brush. The classic foundation brush is tapered at the edge and is quite flat. Sometimes the classic foundation brush's fibres tend to be a little bit thicker than they are with a stipple brush. A stipple brush is usually round and flat at the edge and holds a lot more fibres and thinner fibres, which tends to leave foundation sitting much smoother. So I'm going to show you how to apply your foundation to make it look and sit the smoothest. I'm going to use the stipple brush and I've popped my foundation onto the back of my hand. You're gently going to place your stipple brush into the foundation, not too heavily, but just gently, distributing the product evenly over the brush. You can then use a clean part of your hand to just tap off the excess, and then we're going to start down the edge of the nose, like so. We're going to work down the cheeks and all the way up to the hairline, like so. Down the lip and then down the nose. The part where you've got lots of product, because I know you'll be thinking, I need to move that immediately, go back to that at the end when you've hardly any product back on the brush, and then go back over, rather than applying extra product off your brush onto extra product on your face. The reason that we start at the nose is you want plenty of product here, this is where it can wear, you don't want too much product around your hairline. And under the eyes, you're just going to stipple so that you don't take away from the lovely bright area that you've just created with your highlighter. You're then going to take your brush into your product and start around the brow area on the forehead and take it down the temple, and then use strokes upwards and into the hairline, like so. By the time you get to the hairline, you've hardly any product on your brush. The next thing to consider is how to match your foundation colour. The best place to try it is on the jawline, purely because it sits in between your face and your neck, and you can see if it's going to blend with both. The other place to try foundation can be on the back of the hand, as long as your hand isn't much darker than your face. So if you've just been on holiday and you've got such a tan, that's probably not going to be the best time to try it on your hand. But you can try a few different shades and then pick the one that you feel's closest, or pick two that you feel's closest and try them on the jawline. The next thing to consider is the finish of the product, whether you want something quite matte, quite dewy, or in between. A great way to check the finish is on the back of the hand. Try the product on the back of the hand, leave it a little while, come back to it and take a look. The drier it looks, the more matte it's going to be in terms of finish. The wetter it looks, the more dewy it's going to be in terms of finish. The matter the finish, the product tends to be a fuller coverage, and the dewier tends to be a little bit more transparent in coverage, but you can layer that. You can use this test to measure finish and fullness. If you look here, you can see this one is particularly matte, And this one is particularly dewier. If you have a foundation and think it's too thick or too matte, take it shopping with you, pop it on the back of the hand, leave it a little while, go back and have a look, and you should be able to see whether it's dewier and lighter in finish to the one you've already got. Same for your colour. If you've got a foundation and it's too orange or too dark, pop it on the back of the hand and compare it to the other shades. You will immediately be able to see which is lighter.